Oh, we are back.
What is up, man?
Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Hasn't been that long. Was it last week? It was
Dude,
last
you're back
week.
in like 10K, man. Or not 10K, but
Oh,
whatever.
good.
Dude, what? No, you're back in like, what is it? 320p or whatever it is, man. You're grainy.
Oh,
dude. Tell your wife to quit watching Game of Thrones.
I will tell her that. She needs to stop. She keeps watching it. She's waiting for the new book to drop. It's never gonna happen. Anyway.
Oh. Well, hey, real quick. Happy birthday, by the way, Mr. Birthday Boy. A day ago, Monday.
Yes. Yeah.
The big 4-2, is that what it is?
Nope.
4-3?
Does that matter? Why does that matter?
It matters. It matters to me because I gotta just make sure if you're older than me or not.
That's irrelevant. Completely irrelevant.
Well, all right, everybody, welcome to Real Amigos. Wow, what a crazy 24 hours has transpired on my end. Ian, do you ever look at TikTok?
I mean, of course I do. I've got most followers. Most of my followers are on TikTok.
Are on TikTok. Well, I'm going to share screen with you real quick and show you something quite interesting. So I posted this video about, I named it Zombie Neighborhood, and man, did that take off like wildfire. So there's a neighborhood. Yeah, I'm going to do a longer video on it, but there's a neighborhood that is kind of dilapidating, falling apart. And I'm going to put that on mute. It's falling apart, and the developers kind of backed away from this project temporarily. We'll see what happens. I put it on TikTok. This has been shared a lot. It hit TikTok. I put it on YouTube as well. And all of a sudden I'm getting calls from Newsweek. I'm getting calls from, she's had their call today from Bloomberg. And so Newsweek put out this article. They kind of quoted me correctly, didn't quote me correctly. I said I didn't want to give out more information about this neighborhood because I don't want people to go there and get hurt. And I didn't want people to like damage anything else. And they just said that Jeremy said that he didn't want to disclose more information, which wasn't the truth. I also did say, and I found it funny, Ian, tell me if you find this funny or even remotely of what you're seeing. I said, hey, part of the problem with most home buyers right now is they're looking at three obstacles. It's an election year. So they're looking to see if there's going to be a new president. Number two, they're looking at interest rates being high. And then right now it's actually cheaper to lease than to purchase. They didn't put any of that in the article. So yeah, an article about your boy on Newsweek. I don't know if that's good or bad. What do you think?
I mean, it's good until it isn't. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
good.
I was not anticipating that today. So there you go, folks, on that. But what's new with Ian today?
There's a lot of new. It's interesting. There are a lot of new listings coming to market. A lot of people are talking about selling their houses. Finally, it's kind of weird. I don't know if they're waiting. So I guess this is prom weekend for some people, and so they're getting their kids out and done, and then after they're focusing on their kids, they'll start putting their homes on the market. So I've had a few of those conversations. Um, Otherwise, it's been business as usual. I would say I've got a lower amount of people looking to buy and more people looking to sell, which are ultimately buyers too, right? So we know that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, I have a video. If you look at my main channel here, I put out a video this week talking about, the market update. So I'll let you dig into that video more when you're done here. But yeah, it's interesting that the market dynamics are interesting. Obviously, I just spoke to Bloomberg, and they wanted to get my take on it. Uh, it it's interesting. The thing is, and we've said this a while. The challenge now is we have 4 months of inventory, maybe a little bit more, depending on how sales are going. Sales volume is actually up, right? Sales prices for the MSA are flat, but the overall Austin are still up month over month and year over year. So we're still seeing an upward trend. It's just not as fast as we've seen it the last 3 years. So it's interesting how you want to, and I told this to Bloomberg, I go, it's just how you want to spin the data. If you want to spin the data that the market's crashing, you can do that. If you want to spin the data that the market's okay, you can spin it that way as well. There's lots of ways to spin it, and the data is just all over the place. You could say that the market's crashing, but it's actually more affordable. You could say, and that's part of the data they gave in that video, is that more home buyers are buying under 450,000, which is true. That's 50% of the market. What do you think?
You are buying for 450,000 at the last line.
Yeah. So the 50% of the purchase contracts closed last month. 50%, because nobody looks at these numbers except for me. 50% were actually under 450,000.
Under 450,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
The question is, are these people that have been sitting on the sidelines waiting
Could be
for prices to come down? I think that's a big portion of it. And then I would also say some builders are capitalizing on that market. Some newer home builders that sit in that price range are capitalizing on that market. And on top of that, offering incentives. So that makes a lot of sense.
right. Man, where's everybody tuning in from as well? The comment section is usually popping right now. Is Aaron not here yet? So
He'll let us know. He'll say, "Don't worry,
don't worry, I'm here." Yeah. So let's go through some of the news that we're seeing, the headlines right now for the Austin area. If you do, so I have a whole video coming out with that neighborhood, about the zombie neighborhood. I have it all coming out next week. We just shot it yesterday, so be patient with me there. We got NYC, we got Dallas in the chat. I'll talk a little bit more. I can talk a little more about the development that I was showing you earlier at the end. I do want to save a lot of what we talk about for the longer video that's coming out next week, because I actually show a lot more of the development. Delgado NYC is moving to Austin February 25. We'll see you here, my friend. We'll keep it popping for you. But Ian, let's get into this first article. And it is, Tesla just announced they are laying off nearly 2,700 employees. What have you heard? Because I know you have Tesla employees, past clients. You have friends that are Tesla employees. What are you hearing? What's the word on the street?
Well, so there was a follow-up on X.com by Elon talking about how he thinks that every business needs to go through a refresh at least every 5 years. And so it's just, in his mind, the natural order of things, not necessarily a performance play or a money play. Even though I don't know that that's entirely true, I kind of agree that things need to refresh. You need to shake things up, or it gets stale. So I think the part that's hard is that so many people were blindsided if they don't follow his patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a client that just closed on a home that was a Tesla employee.
At least they
I don't,
closed.
yeah, they closed. Well, I mean, but I don't want to say what position they have. I really don't want them to get in trouble or anything. I don't want them to have recourses from a video like this. But my conversation with Bloomberg today was that it is because they're calling about this in the next article, which we're going to talk about, which is Oracle, but Tesla laying off 2,700 employees, which is 12% of their workforce. Well, if you think about it, Tesla initially was only going to bring 10,000 people to Austin, and now they're at 27,000. They're the second most employed company behind HEB. So, in one hand, yes, it's shocking and frustrating that they are laying off, but they also have more workforce than they had started with. And so she goes, "So you're saying it's okay they're laid off?" I'm like, "No, it's not what I'm saying at all. I mean, it's frustrating that we're laying off 2,700 employees after already, I think they just laid off more employees." But here's what's from the article. It says massive layoffs at Tesla. Tesla is laying off 2,700 employees, or 12% of their workforce, at the electric vehicle factory in Eastern Travis County. We actually have some more news to talk about this in a second, Ian. I'm sure you saw it. This marks one of the largest layoffs in Texas recent years and the largest Austin's in history. The problem I have with all of this, Ian, is that the whole housing market went stupid crazy with the announcement of Elon and Tesla moving here right in the middle of the pandemic. So part of this growth, this mad growth that we had here, was because of Elon. Do you agree or don't agree?
I agree partially. We know that originally there was the comment of adding 10,000 employees, ended up being more like 20,000 employees. And so now there's a 10% reduction, or just over 10% reduction of workforce. That's really not, listen, every job is, I got to be careful with that. I'm not going to say every job is crucial, but everyone's lives are important, right? Like, so you don't want to blindside people like this, but as a responsible business owner, he's doing what he thinks is right for the benefit of the company, and he's trimming the fat. So it does suck that people are being let go, but there's another comment.
I would caution you to use words like trimming the fat when people in Austin have lost 2,700 people, are about to be called, quote unquote, the fat. So
yeah. Oh, no. I hear you. I hear you. And that's it depends. It used to be, if you go back a decade or two, it used to be where they would look at performance. And now it's just a raw, random assortment to keep it from being performance related, to keep like diversity and inclusion and all of these things from being impacted. It's like, no, we're just going to chop 10% of the workforce. Pick somebody from every department. It's like, wow, really? So yeah, I may have used the term fat, but listen, all of us have more body fat than we need. All of us.
So this says that Tesla was at 22,000 employees at the end of last year. I was under the impression, and maybe I'm wrong in what I said a minute ago, that there was 27,000. So I just want to reiterate, the article does say 22,000. I did see a stat somewhere else, and maybe it was Austin Business Journal that I saw. It was 27,000 employees. So if I'm wrong there, I apologize.
I almost wonder if around the 2,700 mark, if that was what they needed to ramp up construction. Did you see on the other side of 130? So you've got the Gigafactory. They're expanding the Gigafactory. And then on the other side of 130, they have just a tent for the Cybertruck production. Yeah. Like the overflow of producing the Cybertruck. So maybe those employees were related to that. I don't know. Obviously, if you're an employer, you know some employees that were impacted, and it's horrible. But let us know like what's going on if you have any insight.
Yeah, if you're in the chat and you're at Tesla or have inside information, definitely drop that in. Also, what do you think about that? I want to. This is a good time to ask the question. What do you think information like this means for the Austin area? 2,700 employees is not a small amount. right? And not all
I
those
do
people,
love.
not all
I
those
do love that you
people
asked that.
are. Hold on, I'll let you finish your thought. Not all of those people are going to be selling homes, but a good majority may be selling homes. We're already at a time in Austin where we're at some of the highest on the market. So do you think that this is going to add more inventory to the market? It's crazy. Go ahead. I cut you off there, Ian.
Well, what I was going to say should be answering the question that I thought you were going to ask anyway. And so, how does it affect the housing market? There is another law that's being looked at right now from the FTC to ban non-compete agreements. The way that falls into play is if someone is let go from Tesla, can they work at a similar manufacturer? Can they go work at Mercedes, who's building autonomous cars and just received the first autonomous cars, 100% autonomy release or whatever? Like, can they go and work for competitors? Because for the longest time, people haven't been able to do that, which, you know, you can look at that as it stifles growth. It hurts it. That could indirectly impact housing. If someone can't find another job here, they have to go somewhere else. With this ban, this FTC ban on non-compete agreements, hopefully other competitors, I'm not saying this is right, but other competitors are able to poach employees. Employees are able to switch jobs, possibly make a little more money without having to leave Austin to do so. That's going to be an interesting scenario once that plays out. Otherwise, if you have, anytime you have a job impact like this, or such a mass layoff like this, think about it. I don't know, of the 10% of the Tesla employees that were laid off, how many of them were homeowners? Because remember, a large pull on that, the 10 to 20,000 people were high school graduates or barely high school graduates.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So are they buying homes right now? Sure, they're going to want to, but are they in the home buying class in the moment?
So
should they be, and are they, are two different questions.
Right. And so from the article, it says the local economic impact, the layoffs have cemented HEB as the top private employer in the region, surpassing Tesla. Despite the layoffs, Tesla's workforce remains above the threshold required by local incentive agreements, which mandated the creation of 5,001 new jobs, which we'll get to what Elon's doing there in a second. Local economists and officials emphasize Austin's resilient economy, which they believe can handle the impact of Tesla's layoffs. Travis County will continue to monitor Tesla as ensure compliance with their incentives. Now, here's what's interesting is we have now this next article about Oracle leaving. So I want to get to the Oracle conversation, but Tesla is also doing this, which is they're sidestepping regulations. They're sidestepping regulations at the Gigafactory due to a loophole. So before we get to that, which I want to get to, I might mess it on my screen here. I want to answer this question that we had. So keep your questions coming as well. But let me stop this share for a second. So this question right here, Fabian says, have y'all dealt with fraud? Yes, I've dealt with this exact situation. And I wish you would have called me. I would have kept you out of this situation because I know what I'm looking for now. We are 2 weeks away from closing on 10 acres in Cedar Creek, and the owner was impersonating the actual landowner. Lost appraisal money, only luckily. So this is actually a rampant problem happening not only in Texas, it's happening all over the place. In fact, I did an entire video on this not too long ago. In fact, beginning of last year, I had this exact situation happen to me. I was referred a land tract. It was 50 something acres. I kept asking the seller a lot of questions and I wasn't getting 100% all the answers. We had got somebody to go under contract on the property. I mean, this was a very popular tract. People knew this tract. I had done a lot of due diligence. I was given fake information, fake driver's licenses, fake everything from this person. And it took an offhanded comment to me and then the other agent to start both go, wait a second, we think something different's going on here. And so we went back and did some more due diligence and found that this person was indeed the seller, was not the actual seller. So this doesn't happen only in Texas, it's everywhere. We actually in that stopped millions of dollars on that transaction from being fraud. We also were able to catch the money man in the middle and stop money being sent from Hawaii on a deal. So we saved, whoever you are, you're welcome. I just saved you $500,000. I saved people on that deal and other deals, and we were not able to track down the person as they were not in the country. So this is a problem. It happens mainly on vacant properties, vacant land, where they reach out to a real estate agent. Real estate agent does some due diligence on it. They give basic info. And I can tell you, if you're somebody listing a property, I deal with this, and Ian deals with this all the time, where we have either seller or buyer clients that don't live in town. It happens that we have seller clients that don't live in town. These people said they had left for California. In my situation, we did a lot of due diligence, got a lot of information. They knew material information about this lot that not many people would know. Like they would have had to have somebody walk this lot to know where certain things were on the lot. So that's how detailed they are. They probably have other people that go on there, but vacant land, vacant properties, this is where you'll see fraud like this. My suggestion is that anytime you're working with somebody like this, that you think may not be a seller, you try to get an actual video call with them. Now there's AI that can, get in the way of all of this. But there are some steps to take to prevent fraud like this. So luckily it was just you losing an appraisal, but I'm glad that you found that it wasn't. These are some of the questions. Some of the questions I ask on anything that's vacant land or vacant property. There's 10 questions now that I ask. Have you seen this, Ian?
I remember your scenario. I didn't go as far as you did with that one. But I get it happens a lot where we get things like they'll initiate the conversation via text or email or something like that, and then they'll try to move it to WhatsApp, or you'll start picking up these little flags as people that are not legitimate owners of property. So just obviously do your due diligence, get people in your corner to help you through it. And
it's funny with all this NAR lawsuit, I'm curious in this scenario who sniffed this out, but in the NAR lawsuit, imagine buyers going straight to the landlord or the listing side, and the listing side being oblivious to the fact that it's fraud. I think that this is one of the scenarios. I think with the commission lawsuit is you're going to see a lot of more lawsuits and a lot more fraud, unfortunately. Yes. Okay, let's get to this. Tesla uses new state law to sidestep Austin's regulations. Ian, what do you know about this?
Other than seeing it happen, I don't know much.
Okay, well, here's what the article says. Tesla Inc.'s large electric vehicle factory in eastern Travis County is no longer under the city of Austin's environmental regulations after successfully petitioning to remove approximately 2,100 acres of the city's ETJ, extraterritorial jurisdiction. This change was facilitated by a new state law, SB 2038. The law, effective from September 1st, allows landowners on the edges of major cities to request removal from the city's ETJ, which reduces the regulatory burden for development. This law has strong backing from business community, particularly developers, as it permits development under more lenient county and state regulations. Austin city officials, including the director of planning, indicated that they must comply with these petitions in properties if properties meet the specific criteria, which Tesla did. An initial petition from Tesla was denied due to the boundary issues, but was eventually accepted. I'll get some more information about what the information and how this works. The new law has sparked controversy and legal challenges for more than a dozen Texas municipalities. These cities argue that the law undermines their ability to regulate land effectively, potentially impacting future annexation and posing risks to public health and environmental safety. Tesla has promised to create an ecological paradise at this facility site. These plans have yet to be realized. Critics, including Austin environmentalists, argue that Tesla's move to exit the ETJ aligns with the CEO Elon's broader resistance to regulatory frameworks, which has vocally opposed the various aspects. The discussion also touches on the strategic use of city utilities and services, which critics suggest that Austin should not extend such services without securing commitments to meet. So basically what happened here with SB 28 or 2038, whatever it's called, is the fact that if I live outside the ETAJ, right? So if I'm on the edge of the city and I don't want to deal with the regulations with the city, maybe I'm a developer and I don't want to have to pay the utility fees for, being in the city, and I want to create my own utilities, I can do that on the periphery. That's why if you look at some of these areas around like Dripping Springs or, the specific development I can think of is the one that is Sky Ridge down here in South Austin. They have 12 homes on one septic, and the developer didn't really disclose that. So it gives you the ability to not have to go through all the red tape with the developing in Austin. And that's something I actually just spoke with Bloomberg about, was that these projects, these zombie projects that I talked about, they run through so much red tape and it takes so long. When the market changes, it's harder for them to sell some of these properties based on the valuations, which has happened here on that one. Ian, what's your take on all this?
So basically, Elon moved his headquarters from California to Texas to avoid regulation. A new law changed. He complied. And now people are upset. I'm just making sure I got that right. Okay. And I understand that there's red tape there for a reason. But obviously if they're following the rules, following the laws, it's an attention grabbing headline.
I mean, it's an interesting headline. I mean, look, the Travis County wooed Elon here with a lot of incentives, and now they're sidestepping some of those incentives. So I would see where the city is upset with that. Yet we'll get into we'll get into our next article about Oracle moving or not increasing their footprint in Austin, and a lot of that has to do with the red tape regulations. I think that you're seeing from the city. So I'm curious in the comment section, what do you think about Elon sidestepping these rules? What are your overall thoughts? Ian, I'll give you another comment here.
It's interesting. We've got all these companies that are making big moves. You've got layoffs are in the news. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got the articles that are talking about Austin is still the hottest job market available. And they're removing these non-compete bans. So I don't know. I think a lot of this is just stuff that happens with the growth of a major city.
I mean, the growth of the city is tough, man, because we've had so much growth here and we've had so much movement, but I see it as a money grab for a lot of people as well. Obviously, we're real estate agents, so you're going to say we money grabbed. Okay, fine. But I mean, these developers money grabbed. You see the city money grabbing. I mean, look at the tax. The taxes just came out. If you got your tax bill, drop a comment below. Did your taxes go up or they go down as far as the valuation? I guarantee you they went up, because my valuations and all my properties went up in a year when values dropped 21%. So, 20%, 21% from the peak. And I have not seen my prices going down 21%. What are your thoughts, Ian?
I think you're exactly right. Somebody's got to pay for our growth. Somebody has to pay for it. And I will say that Samsung just got a good chunk of change. Did you hear about that? They just got 60. President Biden approved, I want to say it was a $65 billion package to help Samsung continue building their factory in Taylor.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, isn't that interesting?
Does his family get a kickback on that? Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry.
You did?
Yeah, my bad. The question so begs, I get that we need we need to take care of the chip manufacturing so we don't have a bigger issue with Taiwan
Right.
and China.
Right.
Yet you have to wonder at this point who's getting the palms greased, because I feel like everybody's getting their palms greased now.
Well, it's funny because Samsung just unveiled their $41 billion plan. Where's the other 24 billion?
Yeah.
It's right. Again, this is high level. I don't know the details, the inner workings.
So yesterday, Larry Ellison, co-founder and chairman of Oracle Group, announced at a healthcare industry summit that Nashville, Tennessee will become the future headquarters of the company. This declaration was made during Ellison's first public appearance in Nashville since Oracle committed to a significant development there nearly 3 years ago. So obviously this has been in the works. Oracle has planned a $1.35 billion 70-acre campus on the east bank of Nashville, aiming to create 8,500 jobs by 2031. Construction has not yet begun, but the scale of the project suggests it will surpass the company's Austin facility in importance, right? So it's going to be larger than us. Oracle, traditionally based in California, has previously named Austin, Texas as the new headquarters in 2020. The move to focus on Nashville is driven by Oracle's recent acquisition of Center Group, a healthcare technology company, which aligns with Nashville's standing as a healthcare center. It remains unclear how the shift will affect Oracle's operation in Austin, where it is a major tech employer and recently filed plans to expand the Riverfront campus. The company has not made substantial changes in Austin following its previous designs as headquarters. Ellison highlighted the cultural and community fit of Nashville as a key factor, and the decision, praising it as a vibrant culture and sustainability for family living. Oracle is actively preparing for its Nashville headquarters, with significant land purchases and leasing office space for interim use while continuing to develop a long-term campus. The announcement, initially meant to be less public, was well received at the summit, indicating the community and industry support for Oracle's move to Nashville. What do you think about this in the comment section? Holy moly, Ian.
Dude, so it's interesting why they would choose Nashville. Nashville has always been kind of a sister city compared to in that it has a lot of topography, it has a vibrant music and just like nightlife, which attracts youth. So people want to go to college near there. And as people get a little bit older, the affordability of Nashville, of Tennessee in particular, much lower property taxes, right? So why would a company want to move there other than just for the employees? The fact that you have a lot of their customers there, because it's always been, I think, 37%, 40% of their business comes from their databases. And apparently healthcare companies use a lot of Oracle databases. And so it does make sense. Now, the real question is, how does that impact Austin? How many people are currently in healthcare in Austin that might consider a relocation to Nashville? Lower property taxes, similar cost of living otherwise, still kind of vibrant, a little more temperate as far as the weather goes. Maybe your dollar stretch a little bit further, maybe not.
Is it me, or do these companies like go where the wind blows? You know, I get.
Well, I think they all establish a footprint where the wind blows, right? Because Oracle's all over the place, Samsung's all over the place, Tesla's all over the place, but their primary headquarters, it's interesting that they're moving so much more lately, because you go back 10, 20, 30 years, headquarters just didn't move, or at least I didn't ever hear about it, right? And now it's like you said, they're moving every 3 to 5 years. Like, why are they all so fluid? But you also have to admit that many of them were just leaving California and coming to Texas.
Well, do you think it has anything to do with that? A lot of people that left California, left New York, and you have in the comment section, you have Delgado NYC. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. He's saying he's moving in 2025. Do you think it has anything to do with that where the workforce went, right? Did a lot of the workforce go to Nashville? So it makes sense to go to Nashville. It's cheaper. It makes sense. It's not California. It's not New York, where if you live in New York and do business in New York and you're a developer and you get loans on properties, they can come back after you and say you defrauded people when nobody got defrauded. So there's that. So you could say things like that. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, there are a lot of things. How does Texas fare for healthcare versus Tennessee, right? And if Oracle, if their clients are predominantly healthcare based, mostly healthcare based, then wouldn't they want to go somewhere to support that? But also, again, it goes back to the youth, the people that are going to be working there. So Larry Ellison said that that's what checked all their boxes for their employees.
Dan Cox
Oh yeah,
says,
the New York thing in Micron, upstate New York. I was like, really?
yeah, Dan Cox, Dan, thank you. Keep it coming, man. Look at Micron Syracuse. They just go with whoever is willing to pay them off and the most, and then relocate the workers after the fact. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like all this news today is just a bummer, man.
It is. Yeah, I was a little down. It's like hit.
Let's come up with something better. Delta 8 and Delta 9 products are under legislative scrutiny. Oops, not that one.
No. There's this Austin's still the hottest job market. Here's how it scores nationally. Let me post
that. Yeah, share that bad boy. Let's get that going.
With that, I shared it in private chat.
That's what she said.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, I gotta share it. It'd help if I shared it. Okay, so here we go. So what does the article say there, Ian?
That Austin's job market ranked. I don't even know what ranked means. Ranked best in Texas. Here's how it scores nationally.
Okay.
So it's interesting. New stuff. ATX had the strongest labor force participation among large metro areas, which is considering, Tampa, where else? Orlando is in there. Orlando and Tampa, Oklahoma City, Miami, Florida, Salt Lake City, right? We hear a lot of these. We have Meta that's growing their footprint. So Facebook, they're putting a lot of money behind things. Google has always been building here. Obviously, Tesla, even though we lost 10%, we've still gained a lot, up until that point. Builders are still looking at new projects. We have had a couple cancellations for builder projects, though. Healthcare, still strong, even though Oracle's leaving. We still have a lot of healthcare companies. So it's good. I think we've always had a healthy job. How would I say it? A healthy economy, job economy.
So this says that Austin ranked number 7 overall, tied with Nashville, and beat Dallas out at number 10, Houston at number 19, San Antonio at 25, tied with Denver. This is the 5th year the Wall Street Journal has conducted an analysis by Moody's Analytics, which ranks areas based on unemployment rate, labor rate. You just said that. Salt Lake City took the top spot this year, followed by 3 cities in Florida: Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa. Wow. Okay. Oklahoma City was number 5, Miami number 6. So it looks like the top spots for job growth are where everybody's moving, wouldn't you say?
I think that makes sense. There's probably a correlation.
But definitely, I mean, it's interesting that Austin's still number 1 if you think, Dallas and Houston are much bigger cities.
They are, but they don't have. So, this is where it gets tricky. Anytime you're looking at data like this, are we talking about Austin proper? Or are we talking about greater Austin, right? Because people might be moving to Georgetown, Buda, Kyle, Round Rock, Pflugerville, and they're not counted in this, right? Austin proper still has a lot of land. Dallas, Houston, they can tear a lot of stuff down to build new stuff. That's about it.
Man, this chat's quiet today. Where's everybody at? Is everybody sleeping in the car on the way to home from lunch? I know this time's tough, everybody, but 7 o'clock is making it tough on family time. So sorry for having to move it up. Here's a good one. Small but famous restaurant. What was the title? They just changed the title on me. So a visit to longstanding Tex-Mex eatery Juan in a Million is like a step into the Maza family living room. It's a glimpse into the culture and vibrancy that have helped foster Austin's bountiful. So look at that. We got some good news here. People are happy about Juan in a Million on the east side. Have you ever been to Juan in a Million?
A lot. I've shaken his hand. That was the thing. That was the thing you do. That was like step one on the Austin tour. I just shared another news project.
You shake Juan's hand? I haven't shaken Juan's hand. What's up? Where have I
He's
been?
the guy that, like, if you go to Juan in a Million, he does one of these things. He's like, and just he comes in at this crazy angle. In fact, when he was on one of those food shows, that was what it was known for. Obviously, cheap tacos, cheap large tacos that were pretty decent, but just the hospitality was off the charts. He would be there shaking everybody's hand.
I went there one time. So don't judge me on what I'm about to say, but it was mid.
Yeah, no. It is mid. It is mid.
Okay.
But they're this big. They're bigger than your head. They're huge. Like, where can you get a $5 burrito bigger than your head?
I mean, is it still $5?
Wow, I haven't been there since the pandemic. So
Yeah.
I probably went 4 or 5 times, but then the pandemic hit and I haven't gone back. And I'm there often enough. I just the timing, and there's Veracruz and some other stuff. No offense, Juan in a Million. Still love you.
No offense, Juan in a Million. We love you. I went one time. I'm sorry, I just don't go on the east side enough. Although you and I, Ian, we went to where did we go, man? We went to a place over there not so long ago that was pretty good. That coffee shop.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one. Problem is, we're at coffee shops. It was the other Cosmic Saltillo.
Cosmic Saltillo was good. I like that place. We went to another place though. Where was it? It was a funny name.
Well, that was one, and then we went to Nate's, and then we've got Satan coming up.
Oh yeah, that's the 9th, right? People want to come have coffee with us. We do it once a month for our brokerage, but you're more than welcome to come hang out. It's going to be the 9th, May 9th at what time, Ian?
10 a.m.
Where at?
Let me double check.
Okay.
One of them's one of them's Satan. I'll give you an exact.
Satan? Are you saying Satan? Are we saying the same thing?
-10, which is on Airport, but I think that's the next month. I think that's.
So if you want to go to Satan, everybody. So $120 million industrial project raises in tiny city outside of Austin. I didn't read this article, Ian. You sent it to me in Creedmore. Okay, so headed east. This is going to be along 45 and 130 or I-30 and 130 toll road. What is this going to be? Oh, here we go. Creedmore. Boom. Oh yeah, so it's south. Okay, I was thinking for some reason Creedmore was closer to Del Valle. But all right. So what are they putting here? Nearly 2 years after purchasing the site, March Capital is a partnership with Duchette Finance, the Denver-based company. Broke down on 120 million. Isn't this already going up? Did I see this going up? I'm pretty sure I saw this going up when I drove by.
I don't know, but I'm glad that
okay. This has been going for a while. I've seen this. The Class A industrial buildings will range in size from 66,000 to 360,000 square feet, and the ability to support tenants in small 33,000 square feet, according to. So basically, just going to be storage. It sounds like. Okay, cute. Well, let's answer some questions. Let's answer the people, Ian. It's been a while since we answered the people. I have a hard out at right before 3 o'clock, a meeting with an agent. But Delgado says. Delgado NYC is looking at Leander or Georgetown. What do you think, Ian? Leander or Georgetown? Go.
It's always going to depend on what he cares more about. Do you care more about land? Do you care more about access to a rail system? Do you care more about how quickly you can get to Austin, whether you're on 183 or on 35 or on 130, all three of those are very different experiences, right? How much are you willing to pay price per square foot on a home, and at what age? There are too many variables. You have to reach out to have that conversation. Short answer, they're both going to be valuable long term.
Yeah. I would say
I will say
price
Leander
points are a little
canceled their
different,
Leander
too.
Springs project. That was a heart hurt.
Oh, you're talking about the lagoon?
Yeah, the Leander Lagoon.
Yeah. So
Holy
we talked
crap,
about the
man.
Leander Lagoon on here quite a bit. They've pulled funding for it, right? Or the city's
Yeah.
pulled their incentives.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Man.
Just put some more houses
That would
in.
be incredible for Leander.
Where would you buy land on the east side? Manor, Elgin, Taylor, Del Valle, Bastrop. Hey, there we got some more comments. Del Valle, Bastrop. I mean, are you looking for land just to what is the reason why you're buying the land?
Whole home, camper, building tiny home community. What are you doing?
Here's this a multifaceted question, right? So are you looking to live and you're wanting to buy land that you're going to see development in the future and you're going to see good growth? If that's the case, I would say of the one you're giving me here, I would pick probably Manor.
Really? You were going to say Manor? You know what?
Where would you pick? In the comment section, where would you pick on this list? I would pick Manor. I'll tell you why.
I know your answer.
Where would you pick?
Oh, me? I thought you were talking to people in the comments. So yeah. I agree that Manor is probably going to grow faster than Elgin, but Elgin is a much cuter downtown city poised for better growth. Manor is already growing awkwardly, but because it's in between Elgin and Austin, and we'll get an HEB soon, because of all of those factors, you're going to have this kind of strange growth happening in Manor. And they're doing a good job with some things, like we've talked about their high school on here and their robotics program, and just they're putting a lot into the youth to eventually build it up. Otherwise, Taylor, Samsung, lots of housing. If you're just looking for a place to go and get some, rental property, single family rental properties, that might be an option.
Yeah. Here's why I'm saying Manor. I'm saying Manor primarily because of the things you just said, as far as like which area is going to see the quickest price increases. I would say of what you put on here, Manor, and why people are going to put that Taylor has Samsung. I think you're going to see so much fighting on land prices and out there, you'd have a hard time even finding a good deal on land right now. Or Manor, you could probably still get land at a decent price, and the development is catching up quicker there. So that's what I think there. Railroad question. So by the way, keep writing your comments in here, and Fabian, we'll get back to you. Railroad in Austin. Did I miss some news? Public transportation. No news there. There's no updates. I don't think that still nothing. They're getting closer, I think, on the project, but they're clearing some lawsuits. Afroeconomist says, Jeremy, how are you investing in rentals? Are you deals cash flowing? Are you buying for appreciation? Okay with negative deals? No, it has to make sense. I'm trying to find stuff off market. The on market stuff, the numbers aren't making sense because I'm still trying to finance. So I'm working with, Jeff McElroy, a good friend of mine who we do investment deals with. He put it this way: if you're okay doing it, so everybody wants cash flow. So if you're going by the fact that you're really looking at appreciation, and instead of buying down a rate and you're going to be negative $250 a month, just put that money, take $250, don't buy down the rate, go put it into an account, pay the negative flow for X amount of months, and then 18 months from now refi, or go in and, I don't know. He's explained it a couple ways. It hasn't made sense. I'm looking for deals. It's tough. I'm going off cash flow. I do need cash flow because I don't right now. I'm looking at a commercial deal that will cash flow about 10 grand a month, not cash flow 10 grand a month, but that's where it'd be. So I would cash flow a little bit on that, but I'm looking at commercial as well. This year, I've been getting a lot of calls from people wanting to buy my land in Lago. Anything I am missing? Realtors trying to sell property. I mean, realtors looking for deals. Their prices in Lago seem like they've come down. I'll be retiring law enforcement with a 2-year-old. Oh, okay, good. Thank you for your service in New York, man. Just want a good school district, safe community, escaping NYC to pursue my dream of stand-up comedy. Is that real? Is that real? You're gonna be stand-up? I mean, I want to hear it. That's. I mean, hit me up, man. I'll go hang out with you and Joe Rogan. Interesting. That's cool. So back to his question, then his question was Liberty Hill or Georgetown. I would say if that's what you're looking at with a 2-year-old, I would look more towards Leander personally. What do you think? Did we lose Ian?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how to answer that question because it's a 2-year-old. The question is, are you going to buy a house and stay in there for the next 2 years before your 2-year-old goes to school? Or is your 5-year-old then would be going to school? Is the school going to be like a specialized school? Because that, kind of completely changes it as well. So there are other variables than just a good school. But if you're talking a good public school system, the ratings are getting better. So let me rephrase. The ratings are getting a little more accurate because everything was clustered during the pandemic because so many people were home or remote or, coming in part-time, and there was still so much movement happening. And that's still the case, but it's a little more stable. So if you look at school ratings today and a lot of the stats, you got to think about what stats are important to you, right? Is it test grades? Is it the class teacher mix? Is it the student ethnicity mix? There are all sorts of things.
I don't know if Matt's on here late and hasn't caught up, but Matt, get out of the chat, Mr.
Yeah, he's just met
Mr. Nashville. Rubbing our noses in it. Good to see you, Matt. If you're looking at buying in the Nashville area, Matt Bogosian's got a great YouTube channel. He is great on YouTube. Yeah, Matt, we talked about this earlier. We need to have you back on and do a full chat on that. He says if he doesn't make it in comedy, I'll be there until she's in college. Nice. That's the plan.
That's funny. See, he's funny. He's a funny guy.
I don't know what was funny about what he said.
He says if he doesn't make it in comedy, then he'll have to stay in the house.
Okay, well, I mean,
Matt, you didn't even super chat us.
Yeah, Delgado, let's shoot me an email and let's bring you on the channel and we'll chronicle your journey from New York to Austin, and then we'll help you chronicle your journey from comedy. So reach out, man. That'd be fun. All right. Hey, I got a heart out, man. I gotta meet an agent right now. So thank you, everybody. Ian, good to see you, man. And
good seeing you.
In 1.2K or whatever you are in.
No, I just don't understand. Anyways, bye.
Bye.